Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about apomysis. Reproduction involving fertilization in flowering plants is called as ampemysis. In flowering plants, the reproduction is called as ampemysis, and wherever reproduction does not involve union of male and female gametes. So during reproductions, there is no union of male and female gametes is called as apomysis. The term apomysis was introduced by Winkler in the year of 1908. It is defined as the substitution of usual sexual system. So there is no sexual system takes place, that is no ampemysis takes place apart from apomysis takes place by a form of reproduction which does not involve meiosis and syngamy. In apomysis there is no involvement of meiosis and syngamy. Maheshwari in 1930 she classified apomysis into two types, recurrent and non-recurrent. What is recurrent means it includes vegetative reproductions and agomospermy. So in this we can see about there is no sexual reproduction takes place, only vegetative reproduction and agomospermy takes place. What is agomospermy means it includes asexual reproduction in which embryo and seeds are produced without fertilization and meiosis. So we can see that is seeds and embryo is produced in asexual reproduction, but there is no process of fertilization and meiosis. Is called as recurrent apomysis, that is agomospermy. What is a non-recurrent apomysis means haploid embryo sacs developed after meiosis and it develops into embryo. So haploid embryo sac is formed and it develops into embryo mainly without fertilization. There is no fertilization takes place. Is called as non-recurrent. The word itself non-recurrent apomysis. So outline classification of recurrent apomysis is divided into two. One is vegetative reproductions and agomospermy. This agomospermy is again divided into three: adventi embryoni, diplospory and apospory. We can see detailed study about recurrent apomysis. So what is vegetative reproduction means? That is plants propagate by any parts other than seeds. So plant propagates by any parts other than seeds. Other than seeds, by any parts we can produce a plant. So bulbous type of vegetative reproduction is seen in Fritillaria imperialis, bulbs, allium, runner, mentha arvensis and Cerca chrysanthemum. These are the different types of vegetative reproductions. We can produce plant other than seeds. What is agomospermy means? It refers to process by which embryos are formed by eliminating meiosis and syngamy. So embryo is formed, but what the process is eliminated means what the process is not taken means meiosis and syngamy is absent, and this we call as agomospermy. So what is adventi embryoni means? An embryo arises directly from the diploid sporophytic cells. So embryo, how it is formed means it is formed from diploid sporophytic cells, or this embryo is formed from either from nucellus or from integuments. So embryo is formed from diploid sporophytic cells or by either nucellus or by either integuments. So this we call as sporophytic budding. So sporophytic cells is formed, so it is called as sporophytic budding. But here adventi embryoni there is no gametic phases present. That means because that is sporophytic cells are formed, is directly, that is embryo is directly formed from the diploid sporophytic cells, there is no gametic phases present, is completely absent. Adventi embryoni, this adventi embryoni is found in citrus and mangifera plants. What is a diplospory is also called as generative apospory. The diplospory, that means a diploid embryo sac is formed from megaspore mother cells. So a diploid embryo sac, where it is formed from megaspore mother cells, and here we can see there is no meiotic cell division takes place. Regular meiotic division is absent. So example for diplospory is Epitorium and Erua. So what is apospory means? This a megaspore mother cells undergoes the normal meiosis. Megaspore mother cells undergoes the meiosis cell division and form 4 megaspores. But these 4 megaspores is gradually disappear. It having no function. So what happens means a nucellar cells becomes activated. A nucellar cells present in the embryo, that is embryo sac, becomes activated and develops into diploid embryo sacs. And this type of apospory is called as somatic apospory. Okay, a nucellar cells becomes activated and this nucellar cells develops into what means diploid embryo sacs, is called as somatic apospory. Example, Eresium and Parthenium. and this type of embryo sac, diploid embryo sac form is called as apospory. And next topic is polyembryony. So what is polyembryony? Means occurrence of more than one embryo in a seed. So we can produce more than one embryo in a seed is called as poly. Poly means many. The first case of polyembryony was reported in which plant? Means orange plants by a scientist, that is Anton van Leeuwenhoek, in the year of 1719. So polyembryony is divided into four categories based on its origin. One is a cleavage polyembryony. It is found in orchid plants, and formation of embryo by cells of the embryo sac other than egg. Other than egg, a formation of embryo by the cells of embryo sac. So example is synergids. What plant? Means Aristolochia. Antipodal, that means Ulmus, and endosperm means Balanospora. So that is a picture for Ulmus glabra, how the embryo is formed. Two types of embryo is formed. One is a zygotic embryo is formed and antipodal embryo sac is formed. Polyembryonic embryo sacs of Ulmus glabra showing zygotic and antipodal embryos. So development of embryos by cells of embryo sacs other than what? Means egg. So which are the portions is developed into embryo? That is synergids, Aristolochia, antipodals, Ulmus, and endosperm Balanospora. So development of more than one embryo in the same ovule. In the same ovule we can produce more than one embryo. So how this one embryo is formed is more than one embryo is formed is it is a derivatives of same microsperm mother cells. Same microsperm mother cells we can produce more than one embryo, and derivatives of two or more microsperm mother cells we can produce more than one embryo in Casuarina plant. Okay, so how the development of more than one embryo within the same ovule. So it is derived from microsperm mother cells. And next one is activation of some sporophytic cells of the ovule. How we can activate the sporophytic cells of the ovule means by use of by the presence of nucellus or integuments we can activate some of the sporophytic cells. Example, in citrus and Syzygium we can activate the sporophytic cells. So which cell? Means by the use of nucellus and integuments. So what is the practical applications of polyembryony? Means the seedling produced, that is formed from the nucellar tissues in citrus, are found better clones for orchards. So food producing, those who are food producing, that is fruits producing, they use these nucellar tissues in citrus plant to produce better clones. All the plants we can produce more number of seedlings with help of nucellar tissues. This is one of the practical application of polyembryony. And next one is embryos derived through polyembryony are found virus free. So by the process of polyembryony what we are producing embryo is virus free. There is no virus affected plants. So these are the two applications for the polyembryony. One is seedlings formed from the nucellar tissues in citrus plant are found better clones for orchards, and embryo derived through polyembryony are found virus free. So embryos with virus free plants we can produce. And third topic is parthenocarpy. So ovary becomes a fruit and ovules become the seed after fertilization. Ovary becomes a fruit and ovules become the seed after fertilization. However, in number of cases of plants we can see fruit like structure may develop from the ovary. So fruits are developed from the ovary, but in number of cases of plants without the act of fertilization we can produce the fruit. Without the act of fertilization we can produce the fruit. It is called as parthenocarpic fruits. Okay, so main important one is without act of fertilization. Such fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruits. Invariably that type of plants that having, they will not having what? True seeds. True seeds is absent. So many of the commercial fruits are made seedless fruits. So nowadays they are producing more number of seedless fruits in many plants. So that type of plants, that type of fruits we call as parthenocarpic fruits. Example, we can see in banana or grapes and papaya we can see there is no seed. So seedless fruits are producing and that process we call as parthenocarpic fruits. And next one is what is the significance of parthenocarpic fruits? The seedless fruits have great significance in horticulture. That is, in horticulture the seedless fruits are producing. Seedless fruits have great commercial importance, more importance in commercial. For producing economically, seedless fruits are producing in commercial value. Seedless fruits are useful for the preparation of jams, jellies, sauces, fruit drinks, etc. A high proportion of edible part is available. So we can see all the fruit without the seed. We can see we can eat the fruits with the full portion. That is, high proportions of edible part is available in parthenocarpic fruits due to the absence of seeds. So the fruit is edible to eat because absence of seeds. So these are the significance of what means parthenocarpy. So what is parthenocarpy? So what is the significance of parthenocarpic fruits? So next class we can see about the second lesson, genetics. Thank you.